In this video, we're going to discuss the topic of underrated EDC items. In a recent video, we covered overrated EDC items. So items that you purchased, maybe you saw an ad online and you thought it would be cool, but after purchasing it, you were kind of like, oh, this is a little bit overrated. I probably shouldn't have bought this. Well, in this video, we're going to deep dive into the topic of underrated items, items that you don't commonly see or maybe aren't commonly discussed, but they are important for EDC. So let's get started with this video now featuring underrated EDC items. So for EDC, items like pocket knives and multi-tools and flashlights, those aren't underrated. Those are core EDC items that we should all have as part of our EDC. For me, an underrated EDC item is one that is frequently asked upon, and maybe a lot of people don't have it with them as part of their EDC. Maybe your spouse, for example, says, hey, do you have this thing? And hopefully you have it as part of your EDC. For me, that's an underrated item. The first underrated EDC item was probably the #1 comment in the overrated EDC items, and that is toilet paper. Any kind of toilet paper that you could keep in your pocket in addition to something like a dude wipe. When you gotta go, you gotta go. Sometimes you may be on a hike and you probably don't have toilet paper or dude wipes or anything like that with you, and now you're in a pickle. You're kind of in a real SHTF situation, literally. So it's good to have some kind of dude wipe or toilet paper available with you at all times. Our good friend Canadian Prepper likes the little toilet paper tablets or the pellets that you add water to and then you can expand out and use that for toilet paper. I prefer going with dude wipes. They come in really handy. Now, while they say they're flushable, I don't recommend flushing them. A lot of plumbers have told me, hey, those clog up your pipes, so don't use that. But in an outdoor emergency situation, it would be really handy to have some dude wipes and some toilet paper with you. I actually have a few of these little, I call them my mini Sharties, which is just 2 feet of toilet paper and a dude wipe, and I have it vacuum sealed in a little bag here for those kind of emergency situations that you might be out in the woods. You could just keep this in your pocket and have it ready to go. So for me, the #1 underrated EDC item is toilet paper and wipes. Maybe we should call it #2. The next 4 underrated EDC items are items that are frequently requested upon you. My wife, for example, will ask if I have any of these items on me. And as a prepper, it's good to have these. So at #2, what I have are breath mints. Oftentimes, a lot of us preppers have our Altoids emergency EDC kits, and we have all the Altoids taken out of it. And when you're out and about in an urban environment or basically any environment, it's good to have fresh breath, and oftentimes people don't have that on them, whether it be gum or Altoids. I like these little fresh mints by Listerine. They're basically little sheets of mints right here. You put it on your tongue and then you're ready to go. I like these because they don't rattle versus like having an Altoids tin, which you'll hear all the mints rattling with it. So this is a lot more silent if you want to be stealthy as a prepper. So for me, the #2 underrated EDC item are mints. The #3 underrated EDC item are first aid equipment. Even having a couple Band-Aids, I'm surprised on how many people don't have Band-Aids on them. Or if they do have Band-Aids, it's in their wallet and it's all crumbled up and it's not really actually that good or sterile. I prefer having my Band-Aids stored behind the cell phone case of my cell phone so they remain clean and flat and ready to go. I actually carry a mini Medi, which is a miniature medical first aid kit that I carry in my pocket. It has even more items than just Band-Aids. But at the very least, I feel all preppers should have some Band-Aids on them, and they should be fresh Band-Aids that are ready to go, clean and not all crumbled up or anything like that. So again, the #3 underrated EDC item is first aid equipment such as clean, fresh Band-Aids. For me, the #4 underrated EDC item is having emergency cash on you. We oftentimes show our fancy wallets and all of our cool gear, our flashlights, our pocket knives, but it's good to have some emergency cash on hand, not in your wallet, somewhere else where you could store it. Just like with the Band-Aids, I store emergency cash behind my cell phone case on the cell phone itself to keep it nice and fresh and clean and ready to go and not easily accessible. I know that it's there, but a lot of people probably wouldn't know that it's there. I used to carry $20 back there, but everything's a lot more expensive now, so now I've upped it to $50. So I have $50 of emergency cash behind my cell phone case just in case of an emergency. A few weeks ago, I went to a grocery store that promoted itself as a cashless grocery store. Well, on that particular day, all the machines were down and they were only accepting, you guessed it, cash. And most people didn't have it, although I had emergency cash because I had it behind my cell phone case on my cell phone. And so I was able to pay for what I needed at the grocery store. Everyone else wasn't able to get it. Again, it's very common on YouTube for us preppers to show all of the cool gear that we carry as part of our EDC. But as we all know, cash is king, and in an emergency situation, you're going to want to have cash on hand. I recommend in the United States having $50 cash. However, that converts to other countries is probably the way to go. Again, everything's a lot more expensive. So again, at number 4, I have emergency cash. Probably the most important EDC item that we all carry are our phones, but I'm surprised at how many people don't have a way of charging their phone. And it's so important, you're going to want to keep this charged at all time. So the number 5 underrated EDC item for me is a way of charging your phone. Even just having a small little USB-C cable for your phone is better than what a lot of people have. An even better approach is to have something like a magnetic charger that can fit on the back of your phone and give it an extra charge. In an emergency situation, you don't want to run out of power on your phone, your one communication device, and just be regretting, oh, I wish I had a USB cable with me. There are options available for keychain style USB cables. I prefer having something like an anchor, like the 1-foot anchor, and keeping that in my electronics module, or going with a small charger that you could use with the magnetic attachment to the back of phones, which I also find is pretty handy as well. And by the way, you can use the magnetic charger with your Band-Aids and with your cash that are stored behind the cell phone case. So you don't have to really worry about that. It'll still charge it that way. But again, the number 5 underrated EDC item are methods of charging your most important EDC item, your phone. Again, charging cables and power banks. That's going to do it for this video featuring 5 underrated EDC items. I hope that you enjoyed watching it. What are some underrated EDC items for you? I had some runners up. For example, I was also thinking of a microfiber cloth for your glasses, for cleaning your glasses, but then I thought, well, not everyone wears glasses. Another item that I was thinking is having spare medication. If you have heart meds, for example, it's good to have some spare medication on hand for EDC purposes. But then I was thinking that not everyone requires medication, so that's why I had it as a runner-up. But I'm sure there's a lot more underrated EDC items that come to mind for you. So leave those items below in the comment section. We can get the dialogue going in the YouTube comment section, which is always fun. Stay tuned for more urban emergency preparedness videos, and I'll see you next time. Take care.